I'm drowning, I'm drowning, I'm drowning. Wrist so icy, wonder why she like me, I'm drowning.
Emergency meeting!
Yeah, Ryan was definitely the imposter that round.
No, he wasn't.
He was
I was
not
electrical.
He was not in electrical when he said he was.
Welcome, poets. I've called this emergency meeting today to share this poem I found. It's called Mont Blanc, and it's by Percy Shelley, and it regards nature and transcendentalism as a whole. I'll read you an excerpt. The everlasting universe of things flows through the mind and rolls its rapid waves, now dark, now glittering, now reflecting gloom, now slendering, lending splendor from our secret springs. The source of human thought its tribute brings, of waters, with a sound but half its own, such as a feeble brook will oft assume. In the wild woods, among the mountains lone, where waterfalls around it leap forever, where woods and winds contend, and a vast river, over its rocks, ceaselessly bursts and raves.
All right, so that poem was really powerful, Ryan. It made me realize how tied down we truly are and how nature is our great escape. I feel like returning to nature is our mind's way of freeing itself from like the burdens of modern society.
Yeah, because I love how in the poem she also kind of goes on the theme of the human imagination and how powerful it really is, and that escape to nature could really kind of set it free in aspects.
Yeah, and I really feel like this poem that Percy Shelley has constructed can also relate to like in modern times. Although it was written in like the 1800s, it can be related to modern times with like technology and getting more closer with nature and what God has given us besides what we constructed for ourselves as distractions.
Yeah, it sounds kind of cliche, but almost like sucking the marrow out of life in aspects.
Right.
Kind of escaping to nature.
I think I've heard that phrase from somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sounds very familiar.
Yeah,
it is.
I think you came up with that.
Yeah.
Did you make that up?
I think I
pretty
did.
good.
Yeah.
I like that.
Do you have any input, Ryan?
I agree with what Evan said about how Percy Shelley really hit the nail on the head with her escaping the modern technologies that built the walls around us and escaping to the beautiful nature and just experiencing life.
Yeah, and even like back in her time period, although there wasn't much technology, it can be related nowadays to that, and more about kind of escaping to your own reality and the beautifulness, I don't even know if that's the word, of nature, especially because I think Mont Blanc is like one of the highest mountains in like the Swiss Alps or something like that, and it's just, I love that about the poem.
Right, and even in her time, even if it wasn't technology that was a distraction, maybe work or needless things in your life that veil the beauty of the world is what she's talking about.
What's funny about this is I actually wrote a poem to share with y'all. And
Oh,
would you like to?
You did?
Yeah, would you like to get into that?
We would like to hear
love
that.
to talk about
Alright,
that, Ethan.
I would love that.
This is the poem I wrote called Escape. Whispers of wind float through the floorboards. The silence of nature is the best reward. I came to nature to escape the city. I leave my responsibilities and I feel no pity. Isolation I seek in a sea of green. Just a few drops remain in my canteen. Taking shelter in a cabin long forgotten, and a thermal trip calls for little caution. As the sun rises, the snow falls, trapping me within these empty halls. The layers I wear are far too thin. I simply wish to see my family again. As time goes on, my strength fades, far from the reach of mankind's aid. As the warmth of life turns to ice, I make peace with nature, unforgiving and vice. For eternity, my body will remain, property of the woods, forever in the rain. One day, my corpse will make up the soil, and that hour, they will forget my toil.
That's really good.
I think your poem relates amazingly with Percy Shelley's because it exhibits how the mind is almost synonymous with nature and how that in the end we're all going to be one with nature anyway. We take things from nature, but in the end we're going to be part of it.
Yeah, I had a very deep meaning about going back and returning back to nature and how it's like a full cycle. You start in the nature and you and you end in the nature and die and come home.
Yep.
It's very, very deep.
Ethan, I loved how you also talked about mainly escaping back to nature, almost as in escaping your reality of like earthly possessions and
Like your day job or whatever.
yeah, it could be anything. Just even if you need to find yourself, just going back to nature.
I also have a poem that I believe relates to Percy Shelley's Mont Blanc, and I wrote, "Thou time that is spent hard at work is some that will resolve in glory, for effort in that context will fully affect your time that is left for tranquility. As time will go on, your youth will be gone, consumed through a life of greed. That time that you wasted, not savored, not tasted, the life that you could have led. Through careers and hardships, the love you shall find in the world and with other people will veil but not mend that God could not lend the depleted time you had wasted. As your bones grow frail and candles turn to nails, in the box you will lay eternally. What you taught and not bought, the lives they forgot, will become the fruit of the future, and in people your conscience shall survive.
Wow, that's really good. What was your poem called, by the way?
My poem was called The Unstoppable Locomotive of Time.
That's cool. I love how it kind of like relates solely to how time's almost inescapable. And there's aspects of it that you're not going to be able to escape, and you got to make the majority out of the time you have here on
Yeah,
Earth.
you have to make the most out of your life. You have to do the things that you want to do and not just get stuck up in your career. Or,
Yeah.
Like, you need to take time to yourself. Otherwise, you'll just end up in a coffin.
It kind of it does really relate to Percy Shelley's poem, because I mean he talked about escaping back to nature and kind of seeing the beauty of it and not focusing on all this other stuff in life, and letting kind of your imagination and aspects run wild and see the beauty around you. And yours is all about how you got to appreciate this time, all this time that you have. They go together really well.
Wow, Ryan, I really agree with you talking about how Evan's poem relates to Percy Shelley, and how we spend our life caught up in our career and our jobs. Whenever at the end of our lives, we look back on our lives and we realize, wow, we should just spend more time doing stuff we love and in nature and with our families and stuff like that.
I agree. I also have a poem that I'd like to share with you guys, if that's okay.
Oh, really?
Okay, that's convenient.
Yeah.
Okay, my poem's called Reality Isn't What It Seems. Our galaxy resides in a vast universe, yet we reside infinitely alone. Surrounded by Earth's wonders, we call this world our home. From the ocean's depths to the mountain's peaks, we explore our world and its beautiful treasures. However, most search for oneself's, drained by life's displeasure. From dawn until dusk, our minds will wander, attempting to escape this earthly reality. And throughout our life, our minds will ponder in efforts to escape this hellish conformity. While attempting to put on a face of happiness and dreams continue to slip away. Our loneliness peaks and our dreams disappear as conformity begins to take over and my reality fades. In this beautiful world, things aren't as they seem. Nature contends to thrive and imagination runs wild, yet minds are crushed along with their dreams. Everything may look perfect, but reality isn't what it seems.
Whoa. That's really good.
That was powerful. I love how you tied it back together in the end.
I was trying
feel
to
like
make the title sound like the very end.
I feel like the theme of reality not being true, does that tie back to nature, like, in a way?
Yeah, because I was trying to talk about like in here from the ocean's depths to the mountain's peaks, how like our world may be beautiful, but on the inside things really aren't as it's perceived.
Yeah. You have any input, Ryan?
I just thought it was really good that you were talking about how reality isn't as it seems, because it's the title of the thing. And then you're talking about how you can spend your whole life, just wasting your life away.
Yeah, and I see how that can relate back to Mont Blanc as well, because it's talking about how like you get caught up in your own earthly things that you think are important, but don't relate back to what make you happy or make you want to live your life.
It's like reality almost crushes us.
Right.
And Mont Blanc,
Nature is the escape, yeah.
Nature is a great escape, just like in Percy Shelley's poem and your poem.
And your poem. And his poem.
Just like
And
Fortnite.
All right, ready? All right, I conveniently also brought a poem. It's called Getaway. I need to escape this modern complexity, a place far away from this anxiety, away from the place that perplexes me, somewhere in more vague reality. This place fills my body with chills, frolicking in nature. I need to escape to the hills, locking away the doors of hatred. Stuck with all this technology, I dream of getting back to Earth, hopefully to get rid of this anxiety, trying to find my worth. Stuck in this unknown reality, somewhere lost in this galaxy. A needle in a haystack, trying to find what this world lacks. Time to be free of this place, free from this useless waste, running away with haste.
Yeah, we're good.
I love how you related like technology and being like stuck up in your own problems as related to like something that you had to get over, and like how it was like a disease and how it was like taking over your life, and you felt that in order to be happy you needed to find a way out of it, and how the only way you could live life is, like you said, to find like it's almost like a needle in a haystack trying to get rid of the useless garbage that gets stuck up in it.
So like basically like the overall saying in the poem is that we need to escape the poisons of modern society to find the cure of nature.
Yeah, I love how you talk about, like, especially with Easton said, like, you had, I think, a line that said, like, you need to get back to Earth. And I can kind of see that as, like, almost an escape, not from reality, from anything that someone's personally going through. And nature, like you said, is a great escape for that. Good meeting, poets. I felt this was a very productive meeting. Me too.